Do you remember the time long ago when we somehow managed to navigate life and perform simple tasks without the aid of our smartphones? Well, I do. Last month, even though more than half of activities of daily life now require an internet connection, I successfully survived 3 whole weeks without mine in the Big Brother house. Let's not go there. I didn't miss it one bit. A recent survey revealed how our digital obsession is destroying the simple pleasures of life. Mixtapes, photo albums, recording things on VHS. It's time to act on the addictive and destructive side of our habit and disconnect. Turn off, tune in, and wake up.
I completely agree with you, and I really do. Now, my industry I work in is technology. I've worked in that industry for years and years, and I've banged the drum for technology, and I'm a passionate supporter of it and developing it and all the rest of it. But I think that what technology is doing, social media, smartphones, to us as individuals, I actually find it pretty sad, because if I look at the interactions I have with people and my friendships and all the rest of it, in fact, let me rewind. If I look at how many people I know that are lonely, and I mean properly lonely, because they don't have proper human connections with people anymore.
We shouldn't talk about Greg when he's not here.
I know.
He's terribly sad, sitting there with his one bar fire. Do go on.
But I feel very strongly that people think they've interacted with a friend because they've liked something on Facebook or they've pinged them a message or something. I've lost count of the last... In fact, I can't even remember the last time someone said to me, just turned up at my door, hello, how are you?
This sounds so terribly old-fashioned, guys. It's just like, hold on, you're sounding like Luddites. Right? Look, the printing press got invented and everyone went ballistic and said, oh, that's the devil. Look, hold on a minute, right? Let's calm down a bit. Some of the things that you've said people miss. One of them is turning the pages. Physically turning the pages of the yellow blooming pages. I'm so glad we're seeing the back of those things. I mean, those yellow pages things were disgusting.
Read it anyway.
And they had all people's grubby paws all over them. And another thing that people miss, what was the other thing? Dialing 1471 to see whose phone calls you've missed. I mean, I'm really glad I don't have to do that anymore. And my mobile tells me.
Can we actually look at we've actually prepared an exciting graphic to show all the things that we're missing out on, which I'm going to talk you through. Making mixtapes.
Agreed.
For our loved ones.
Yeah, true.
Sticking photos in our family albums, we could.
Yeah.
Recording home movies and making
well,
our
Michelle
friends
does those
them.
on a regular basis, but they're not...
Yeah, those are for private viewing. Putting up photos that we've actually... and physical pictures and making home movies again.
Right, can I just make an observation?
Hold on, and then we get lots of them back from the chemist. Quite right, with a sticker on them.
Exactly. Now, can I just make an observation here? You two, who are saying that we should give up phones, are the only 2 people who've actually, in the break, sent text messages and been on your phone constantly. I don't have my phone here.
I was looking at the phone.
No, you have it every week. You have it every week. And actually, you've got yours as well.
Well, no. I didn't bring mine in. Somebody brought it in, right? Because she wanted to see it.
I absolutely listen to everything you say.
What I missed in the Big Brother house was reading, listening to music. I didn't miss talking to people because that's all you could do. Being outside and all these things you cannot get from your smartphone.
But you're right.
I listen to music and read on my devices. No, it's far more environmentally friendly not to stock up on loads of paper, otherwise known as books. So encyclopedias is another thing that people said they missed. I'm so glad we're not wasting all those trees.
All right, well then let me take you before
we never used them.
But okay, I accept that they have their uses, but let us hear from a motivational speaker who really thinks that that social media, which is replacing life, is really damaging us, especially our teenagers. Let's have a look from Simon Sinek.
If you're sitting at dinner with your friends and you're texting somebody who's not there, that's a problem. That's an addiction. If you're sitting in a meeting with people you're supposed to be listening to and speaking, and you put your phone on the table, face up or face down, I don't care, that sends a subconscious message to the room that you're just not that important to me right now, right? That's what happens. And the fact that you cannot put it away is because you are addicted, Right? If you wake up and you check your phone before you say good morning to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you have an addiction.
That was 2016. I remember, I'll never forget my husband once saying to me, mimicking Princess Diana, he said, there are 3 of us in this marriage, Rachel, me, you and your iPhone.
He's right.
There are other phones that are available.
But you know, there's a much more serious problem here, and he talked about addiction, this guy, and it is an addiction. And 2 of Apple's biggest...
It is.
Can imagine
himself.
You've just had to say. So 2 of Apple's biggest investors, their £2 billion investors, have told them they have to come up with new technology, digital technology, that will stop the amount of time kids spend on the phone, because it is damaging Apple's reputation because of this addiction. There was a thing that they did some brain imaging on people who were addicted to their phones recently, and people who use Facebook, their brain scans were exactly the same people who'd abused drugs.
Can I actually say,
it's the same endorphin pulse you get when you get a like or something.
Bring this back.
It's a drug. It's the same as drug addiction.
The problem there, just to calm things down a bit, the problem there is the addiction to social media, not the phone, right?
No, it's both.
It's because the phone is a device used. It's a tool used to access a website that is addictive. The addictive quality of social media is the feedback loop, like gambling.
No, it's not.
It produces a drug. Hold on. It produces a drug in the brain, a bit like gambling does, that gives you the reward-punishment mechanism, right? The problem there isn't the phone. It's the site or the application people are using. And I think that we've got to... It's like we used to talk about TVs being addictive to children. Actually, all of this, I think we can deal with. We're all adjusting because we're evolving with this technology as it's developing. We can deal with it in a calm and reasonable manner. But that bloke there, on that video, sounded angry, and he sounded as if he was trying to convince himself of the problem.
He's a therapist telling a bloke he's addicted to something.
Do you disagree with what he said?
No, well, look, for example...
If you're texting whilst you're having dinner...
That thing, the example... No, I don't do that, though. And actually, I'm the only one, I think, that didn't check his phone in the breaks.
Do you disagree with him?
Yes, I'll tell you where I disagree with him. When he said, you put your phone down here, and he said, even if it's face down, it means you're not as important to me as my phone. That's not true, Michelle. You're very important to me. In the old days, the telephone would still be there in the background, and it would actually ring a lot louder than this thing does with the vibrations, because it would go brrr, really, and annoy everyone. So it's always been there. I just think that we're just overreacting and overcorrecting to stuff. That's my view.
Why is Nick being so quiet?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Sorry,
a minute, love. I'm just...
He's just on his phone. Bear with.
For that.
I think Mudgie's absolutely right. I think you're railing at this great one. The problem is, of course, but maybe this is the industries in which we work, is it's all very well for us not to be switched on, and I take the point as if you're at lunch or if you're at dinner with someone. And my goodness me, my children now almost have their own families, but we never allow people to sit at dinner. You know, that is an absolutely verboten. But if you are in a sort of business that we're at, you're kind of always on. Do you know what I mean? The phone goes and the radio says no, to a degree, But
I said switch off. You know, you have to be able to switch off.
But I will underscore Carol's point, and she has sort of lifted the veil. The 2 of you who are immediately like sisters, nobody else on the team is on their mobile phone the same degree as you. So the idea, and I actually jokingly took it from you at the beginning of the show, and you, not jokingly, wrestled it back. There's no way you'd give me your mobile phone now.
Do you know there's a condition called nomophobia,
which is fear of losing your phone.
Yeah, just let me ask you the thing. Right, so these are the symptoms. These are the symptoms.
Oh wow, you've got the symptoms.
You can't turn it off. Obsessively check it. You top the battery up when it doesn't need it. You take it to the toilet.
I don't have any of
You
these.
get fidgety when you don't have it. You never have it out of your
Let
hand.
me show you, as anyone that will testify that knows me outside of work, I would gladly, and I do, I go out the house. If I'm meeting someone and I'm with them, I will go out the house with that person and I will leave my phone at home.
So do you only use it when you're doing live TV shows?
No!
I think one of the things that's happening...
Honestly.
One of the things that's happening is that the beauty of this technology is it's combined a whole bunch of other things that we would have had to have a map, an encyclopedia, we would have had all these things on the table that we use simultaneously, a big fat telephone.
Yeah.
Now we've all got them in one device. So, of course, the frequency with which we're returning to that
Damage
device
in your brain, then,
has increased because we're using it for so many different functions.
It did say that about telly.
It
did say that about TV.
But it does damage your brain. It causes neurological problems.
I do think that the social media giants, who shall remain nameless, should actually do something to rein in the feedback loop and the likes and the way that at YouTube, for example, when you're watching Netflix, instead of saying, yeah, you finished your your episode, the next one plays within 5 seconds. It sucks you in, and you spend hours on screen. There are surveys about kids of kids of as young as 6 spending 21 hours a week.
That's
on
parental.
screen.
That's parental.
But
And it used to be the same with TV.
But I find it interesting. There's a guy called Sean Parker that was very heavily involved in Facebook, and if you look at him online and what he now says about social media, and he says he feels that in many regards it's damaging the fabric, the structure of society.
I agree, social media is.
And I agree with him. And I am a passionate advocate for technology, but I just think it's getting in the way of general human interaction sometimes.